Guys, we need to talk about the epidemic of fake crocheted items. Okay, fake might be a loose term because, like, you literally get a crocheted item, but there's some dark stuff going on behind the scenes. So to kick this off, I have this video from TikTok user Janae4399, who goes by the name Jennifer.
I feel scammed right now. I just went to a town art fair, and I usually try and discern what vendors are making things homemade and which ones are clearly just like selling things that they got off of AliExpress. And I saw a vendor, which I did see, I saw quite a few vendors with like things like this, or crochet, you know, stuffed animals, characters, whatever, flowers. And I saw this from my mom and I thought it was really cute. And it had like a tag on it, so I'm like, okay, like maybe you made this, I don't know. It was priced $30, which looking back is probably really low if it was handmade. And then I found this for myself, which is really cute. I do actually really like this. But let me show you what the fuck I found with a very quick and easy Google search. Like, are you kidding me? This is like the same fucking thing. I feel so dumb. Like, I thought you made this and you just fucking bought it online. And then I also these, which is what they were selling a lot of, is just like little potted ones in pots that look exactly like this. And then I see that these vendors are from Madison, Wisconsin. We're nowhere near Madison, Wisconsin. We're all the way on the other side of the state. So they're probably buying up all this shit on Temu and then just driving to craft fairs everywhere. I don't know. It feels scammy. Like, I don't know. I just feel duped. I've been duped.
And I too have been seeing a huge like uproar of these types of crochet vendors vending at a lot of events. Like when I go to a mall, today I went to a mall and there's just crochet vendors. Like every mall now has those crochet vendors. And I'm here to tell you, it is not ethically made, like at all. Now here's the thing, okay? My crochet experience is quite minimal. This is like the best thing that I've made crocheting thus far. I swear I'm learning and I'm trying to get better, but crocheting takes a long time. And for my credibility, I can knit, so it's like the parent of crocheting. I guess because knitting came first. This stuff takes a long time to make. I suck, so this took me about an hour. But you know, even for people who are extremely skilled at crocheting, crocheting is extremely time consuming. So there's some discourse about this, right? There's the narrative that crocheting is something that cannot be done by machines. Well, apparently as of September 3rd, 2023, a couple of people actually managed to produce a machine that can automatically crochet fabrics. So I don't know enough about crocheting to be able to interpret this, but from my understanding, this is not something that is widely used in practice currently for manufacturing. So on that note, whenever you see these crochet vendors and things like that, and when they sell really, really cheap crochet, there is labor exploitation involved. So when you're buying crochet items that have been made through labor exploitation, because again, there are no machines from my understanding in wide and active use that can machine crochet. So there has to be somebody actually doing it by hand for you to get the item. If you get like a fully made flower, a fully fleshed flower in a pot for $2, that flower probably took somebody like 2 to 3 hours to crochet by hand. If they're fast, maybe two, right? That's like $1 per hour of labor. If we completely even ignore material costs and like shipping and things like that, those extra costs added in, the people who are crocheting those items are being paid like disgustingly low rates to make those products. When you see those vendors in person, here's how you can tell that their items aren't actually hand crocheted, but instead purchased off Temu or AliExpress, or there's exploitation involved there, right? It's one, if they have an absolutely insane amount of product, insane amount of inventory. You can have a lot of inventory of like stickers, things like that. You go to a manufacturer, they print a large bulk of it for you, but crochet items are again supposed to be handmade. So how do you have such a large amount of crocheted items in one go? I found this account on TikTok. They sell through TikTok Shop, which again, I can't show you on desktop, but you can see it on mobile. And their account is very sus to me. I'm just using them as an example to educate us on how we can spot these types of crochet resellers instead of, you wasting your money. Please don't send hate to the person involved. Like, we just don't engage, move on. But one is, let's just scroll down here. But look at the insane quantity of crocheted flowers behind this. Here's another video, different angles. So these are like different crocheted flowers. Again, look at all of that. Each stem is very time consuming to make. So how did you end up with that many? A huge quantity of these sunflowers. And you might be like, okay, well, Kat, maybe they just like sat down for 2 weeks and just produced all of these sunflowers in a 2-week window. But this account is uploading almost every day, like every other day. Okay, now there's a big gap again and we have some more items. But again, 26, 29, 31st, 31st, August 2nd. Oh, and that's a giant one. So this one must have taken a long time. Another one on the 3rd. Now we have on the 4th. So they have an insane variety. And again, look in the background with all of the flowers here in the background. So you're telling me like something like this would take like 8 hours, I'm guessing, to crochet, right? Maybe probably even more. And they can produce something like this once a day, even more with like the frequency they're selling. So that's already red flag number one. When you see really, really large or high detail complex crochet items, but they're cranking them out in extremely high frequency. So either they have a team of people working for them to like make this, or these are drop shipped off of Temu or AliExpress. The second thing that we can do to kind of discern this is such a large variety in what they make. It's not the reddest of flags, you know, but it's same thing with any type of art. Typically, people specialize in a niche. So you would specialize in chibi illustrations, or you would specialize in graphic design, right? There's like a niche specialty. But you know, this account seems to crochet everything. They crochet things from flowers to purses to keychains to little like characters to much more specialized Marvel characters to these Pikachu looking things with the little like head, Plants vs. Zombies, a different style of character. And they also sell plushies. So if you're a creative, you probably want to experiment making a whole bunch of different things. You know, you get bored with one style, you change it up. But typically it's not common to see a seller sell such a massive variety of items that are all handmade, that each item taking an equally long amount of time to make. That's typically not seen. And then the third and the most obvious is if you just cross-check with Temu or AliExpress and you can find there's extremely similar stuff on there. Again, you know, you never know which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Temu and AliExpress robs a lot of stuff from actual artists. So the actual artist could have made it and then they stole it, right? AliExpress or Temu. Or it could be AliExpress and Temu just had it on their sites and then people buy it to dropship. But we have the Plants vs. Zombie plants, the exact same pea shooter in the same pot is available for $4 on Temu. But, you know, maybe it's a fluke until you realize, oh, wait, remember these sunflowers we were looking at? Yeah, that pot of sunflowers is also on Temu. Also, on a complete side note, one irony that isn't lost on me is, again, look at this, right? Look at the little, like, ladybug, plastic ladybugs in here. The irony isn't lost on me that on Temu, the listings also feature a plastic ladybug. And then they have these Christmas trees, right? For $6 on Temu. And they also have like the same one on their TikTok shop with the same pom-poms, the bows, the everything. So again, the biggest thing is just to be conscious when it comes to making purchases, so that I just wanted to equip you with the best knowledge so that when you go into buying crochet items, you can be more aware of potential exploitation and purchasing from a dropshipper. Now, with all of that out of the way, how do you spot a genuine person who is just selling crocheted items? And now that crocheting has been a fad with the drop shippers, how do we discern this? Well, I'm just using this creator as an example. Their handle is Made with April, and I personally have purchased stuff from them. This is a bouquet that I've bought from them. I bought a mystery bouquet, and this bouquet cost me $100. Might have been a little bit over. But again, the first one is just pricing, right? When the pricing is much higher, it's, again, it could be a scam, right? But it would lend the credibility that, okay, this pricing would account for fair wages for the hours that this artist would have to put in to make the bouquet. And by the way, this bouquet has actually been in all of my videos. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it sits normally right back here on my IKEA pegboard. So it's like right above my head. I just took it down for this video. But that's the first one. The second one, oh, and I forgot to mention this earlier, is we actually see the artist crocheting. So if you look at April's page, we scroll down. I'll have to mute everything. But again, we have examples of April actually making her products, or just, you know, crocheting in general. Or in this case, knitting. Like, you know, here is another example of her assembling her item that she sells. So again, more credibility to it being handmade. Another example, from my understanding, these are like stitch patterns, but my crochet knowledge is extremely poor. Exercise in knowledge of the craft, okay? That's the point that I'm trying to make. You don't see an insane amount of product because she's one person. So she can produce as much as one person can. It's not going to be walls and walls and walls of flowers and pots and this, that, and the third. There's just too much of it. There's just too much for it to be feasible that one person did all of this. Third, you typically would see items that are more unique than what Temu and other dropship sites would sell because the artists would add their own creativity to it. And I would say finally to wrap this all up, it does get a little bit tricky. Don't go out of your way like accusing any artist you see of selling crochet of like copying or like drop shipping, because the thing is a lot of crocheters will follow a pattern, right, where somebody would make a pattern and they upload it for free, or you could purchase it, and if you follow this pattern, as long as you don't F it up, you can go and crochet the thing that it's supposed to be. You know, I followed a pattern for the strawberry. It was supposed to be like at the size of my hand. I fucked up somewhere along the way and it became really small. I also like completely screwed up the leaves and it's like weirdly firm. But anyways, ideally if you're skilled, right, you follow the pattern, you can get a product that would look like what the pattern should make. Just like the recipe to bake a cookie or a cake, you know, you follow the recipe, your cookie or your cake should look and taste like the one that the recipe was based off of. So because of the system of using patterns typically in crocheting and knitting, it can be a common for, you know, different people's crocheted items to look similar. And it's not because the artist stole or drop shipped from Temu, but it's because they just followed a pattern. And so therefore their product will look similar to the pattern because it was based off a pattern. That's completely legal and like a thing that happens in the crochet and knitting world. Doesn't mean they stole. But I would just say, like, when it comes to purchasing crochet items, just again, like I said, use your own discernment and all of the tools that I've equipped you with. Hopefully this can help you figure out whether they're drop shipping or not. And again, the biggest thing is if the price is ridiculously low, like you get a pot of flowers and they're charging $10 for it, there's some exploitation along the way. That is dropship for sure. And somebody in the comments of the original video said this, and I think it's pretty fair. They said typically when you're at conventions and you're purchasing, you would see the person selling crocheting something, right? It's not a guarantee. Just because the person isn't crocheting is not a guarantee that they're drop shipping, right? But when you see the person exercise the craft, it is definitely a very good indicator that they made all their stuff. So yeah, just want to throw that out there. Anyways, this is not like dogging on you if you accidentally bought one of those crochet items. You know, we've all been there, bought it because we thought it was legit and it wasn't. That's not on you whatsoever, right? You just didn't know. But this is just in the future that, you know, when you see these red flags, probably drop ship. So anyways, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Again, don't send hate to anybody mentioned in the video. I also have an Etsy shop in which I sell digital goods and assets like Twitch, emotes, etc. I also have a coffee in which I have stuff for free there. And I also stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you guys there or in another one of my videos.